I actually wouldn't mind talking about the Washington Spirit and Richie Burke. I will start off by saying I have a slightly vested interest in this because of something that did or did not happen involving the Washington Spirit. So I will say I am not completely neutral in this, but I will try my hardest to stay objective. So just real quick, for those of you who don't know, Richie Burke, I should say, was the former head coach of the Washington Spirit in the NWSL. He was relieved of his duties. Then they said he was, let's say, kicked upstairs to a front office position. And then it's like, actually, he's suspended once we start hearing about how he has allegedly harassed players, verbally, even made racial comments. So now he has been, he's put on leave, we'll say. And this is, if you might know, this is not the first time he has had these accusations made at him. It was even earlier, a few years ago, by youth players. And I thought this would be the perfect way to start our return to the coach's corner, or now as well our player coach corner as well. So IK, what are your thoughts about Richie Burke, if you heard anything about it?
So I was actually reading up on it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from the article I was reading, it was referencing a player. I don't remember her name. I don't know if you have it, but she was basically stating that, you know, she felt like he was using very abusive language, and for her as a player, that made it very difficult for her to perform to her best ability. And I guess other players also made some complaints. Now, my opinion on it. So from a player standpoint, I've had a coach, or I've had coaches like that in the past. Very vocal, right? and profane. And in truth, do I personally enjoy that type of coaching style? No. Do I think there are better ways to approach player coach communication? Yes, for sure. Am I also aware that there are some players that actually prefer that type of coaching? Yes, and I've heard it from their mouth that they would rather have a coach that's just screaming at you all day, because I guess that's what pushes them. So in a sense, it's like, what I personally think, yeah, I wouldn't want to play. I wouldn't want to play under a coach like that. But at the same time, you know, there are players that prefer coaches like that. Now, there was the topic where I think they say he used like some, you know, he said some inappropriate things to some of the players. I don't really know. Like, I don't really know. What do you think?
I mean, it's an awkward position. So first off, my biggest issue isn't even with him, because this is who he is. This seems to be who he is. This isn't the first time. I've never met the man. Like we and again, we're getting news reports. We're not hearing his side of the story. But my issue is more with the Spirit. It's like, there's a history of this. And I remember when he was first hired, I actually looked into his history, because I admit I didn't know anything about it. I'd never heard of him. And I was like, I don't really see how he's, I mean, I'm not saying he's not qualified, but yeah, I don't really see how he's qualified for this job. But okay, all right, fine. My issue is that he's creating problems for himself that don't need to exist. Like, there are some things he said that, like, this accomplishes nothing. This is literally just gonna bite you in the butt later on. And that's exactly what it's doing.